Good afternoon. This is Occupier Keelan coming to you live from People's Park on the grounds of the state capitol here in Des Moines, Iowa. This is Earth Day today, for those that are unaware of it, and people are gathering here. Some are standing on the big map of Iowa, and there's going to be some speakers. There's going to be an open open mic. There is someone with petitions, set up a table, and then someone is selling the Great March for Climate Action shirts that are still left over. And I believe those will be used to continue to fund. Sorry, I'm adjusting my phone in my monopod. And that might be used to continue to fund Ed Fallon's walk diagonal up the state from southeast to northwest, but he came back here to Des Moines for this. So the major focus of today's event here is the proposed Bakken oil pipeline, which would run from the diagonal from southeast to northwest, and it would take the oil from the Bakken oil field where it's extracted through fracking, and some of the frac sand that is mined here in Iowa could be used up there for the fracking of that oil, or could be sent to other states. So we participate in the fracking by virtue of the mine, the one working mine, and the proposed mines that may be set up in other areas if they're not stopped. But, it's environment in general, but because of the pipeline proposal, that's the main focus here. But it's not just that, but we are trying to stop that pipeline here. And farmers whose land will be impacted are making some noise. Townspeople are making some noise, trying to stop this thing. And it looks like we've got a good crowd here. The sun is directly to my west, but it's high enough that if I keep my pretty good, if I keep my lens right, I won't blind you. The sun is still high enough that I won't have to bother with blinding people, but I'll still try to keep my lens kind of facing this way, either east, northeast, or north. Right now people are just gathering. Some are signing petitions, some are looking at the shirts. Got someone who rode their bike here. Got people of different groups, and just concerned individuals who want to stop this thing. We want to clean Iowa.
I never see you anymore. Just on Facebook in the cyber world.
Survey, and they said they could come on private survey, they just don't listen.
Along the roadway.
I saw them on a experience in Palm Springs, and they said we just called them. We could have got in the same place. Now they tell us.
We keep a key by the door, a keypad, and everything. Yeah, we could have gotten it.
If people have to do civil disobedience to stop it, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like it. After a long drive, huh? Well, you didn't get very far.
Yeah.
And she drove all the way on that stretch.
Well, that's not. I mean, the hills are done.
That's what I mean. We're dirtied our nuts.
Yeah, there are nuts.
Looks like we got probably about Almost 50 here so far. Few more.
Carolyn and Kevin, please come to the front. Carolyn and Kevin to the front.
Yep, that works. Yep, that works.
You here?
Yeah. Yeah, they're. Because it is kind of windy out here, I'll probably stick close to the
Mic
speaker.
check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Can you guys hear back there? Yes. Great.
I have my tablet, which I use to take some pictures. I was just taking some pictures with my tablet, and I'll upload those later. Ooh, the crowd is growing. More people are coming up. A couple of people coming down here from the steps. I don't know if they're going to stay around, but...
Okay, everybody, we're going to start celebrating Earth Day. Come on up. Kind of gather around. It's a great day to celebrate our Earth. Good evening. My name is Carolyn Hake Walker. I am a member of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, and also our umbrella group Move to Amend Des Moines. I have been asked to speak. I wanted to mention one thing. This month is the 100th anniversary of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. We have representatives from Des Moines at The Hague this week. They're celebrating it because 100 years ago,
sorry about that. I was taking another
from
picture.
around the world gathered at The Hague to try to prevent World War I. And of course that didn't happen, but Women's International League came out of that conference 100 years ago. Well, I would like to start with talking about the environmental movement and the fact that in 1970, huge things were happening. Millions of people met on the first Earth Day. And with all of that happening and all those things going on in the early 70s, did corporate persons just sit idly around and let our right for clean air and water affect their profit? Did they just sit around? No. Let's hear that. No. They were scheming at that time and planning They confronted their friends in government with huge sums of money and lobbying. They began a propaganda campaign around then against climate science. This continued until corporate persons gained enough seats in the Supreme Court to finally undo any gains we, the people, and the environmental movement had made. The Supreme Court doctrine of corporate constitutional rights and money as speech is wiping out our democracy. So, celebrating Earth Day today is also opposing corporate rule. Fossil fuel companies and pipeline companies make up many of the biggest and most powerful corporations in the United States. Let's all fight hard against the building of the Bakken pipeline here in Iowa. Yes. But let's also, along with fighting hard against the Bakken pipeline, let's also work toward abolishing the power of corporate personhood and money. Already in Iowa, a grassroots movement led by Move to Amend Des Moines, WILF, Public Citizen, and others has begun. Des Moines, Dubuque, Altoona, Buffalo, Bluegrass, Black Hawk County, Lee County, and very soon Johnson County have all passed local resolutions to abolish corporate personhood and money is speech. So we have a lot to do between the Bakken pipeline and corporate personhood. I'd like to also remind you on this Earth Day who we are in the midst of an awesome but dying planet. These words are attributed to Chief Seattle in a letter to the people in the 1800s. Even though there is debate about whether Chief Seattle said them, I had my students memorize them every Earth Day. I was a 5th grade teacher at one time. Anyway, this is what Chief Seattle said, and we all need to remember this as we go forward looking at trying to save our Earth. The Earth does not belong to us. We belong to the Earth. We did not weave the web of life. We are merely strands in it. And what we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Whatsoever befalls the Earth, befalls the sons and daughters of the Earth. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Kevin Rutledge and I work with the American Friends Service Committees governing under the Influence Project. I'm the Grassroots Education Coordinator. And first off, I want to say thank you for all these beautiful people coming out here on this beautiful day. This is great.
It's a little chilly out here,
thank
but
Ed Fallon for coming out too. And
it's a little windy, so I do apologize for that.
So we're out here today to take a stand against the Bakken oil pipeline being built in Iowa. But we're also taking a stand against corporate domination in Iowa. That's what brings us here today. 5 years ago, I had internships in Washington, D.C., and I attended a rally outside of the BP headquarters after the worst American oil spill in our history. And that same summer, I also worked against Citizens United, against the worst corporate influence in our American society as well. And so with our Governing Under the Influence project, we asked presidential candidates questions exposing that corporate power and influence.
And they don't
like, for example, Rick Perry. I talked to him a couple months ago in Sioux City when he came to visit Iowa. And I asked him a question about how how people can trust his policy making for American people when he is governing under the influence, sitting on the board of directors for the oil company that is directly profiting from the Bakken pipeline being built in Iowa. Do you know what he told me? He said, quote, "I think that's irrelevant, frankly."
Typical
about
Rick
you guys,
Perry
but
crap.
I think that's irrelevant, frankly, that corporations
Yeah.
are able to
Someone
spend
said Perry's
billions of
irrelevant.
dollars on elections and lobbying to buy democracy.
Yes.
So our Governing Under the Influence project is all over Iowa and New Hampshire, where we get the lion's share of presidential candidates, to expose this corporate influence to all the presidential candidates, the media, and frankly, the world. Everybody's listening. People are starting to wake up, and we've got the power. Like, we've got 10 presidential candidates that are coming here this week and this weekend. Like, we're going to be out there with our big banners and our flyers and ready to ask questions. And we need help. We can't do this on our own. But when more people become involved, the louder our message gets. Like, we get to interact with candidates like nobody else does in the entire world. So I'll close with this. Iowans, we pick the leader of our country, and we pick the leader of the world. And Iowans pick to get money out of politics. Now, we've got these flyers here, right? It's got my contact information, our website, gui.afsc.org. Check us out. We're asking questions, posting the videos on our website, and this message is going out all across the country. And our hashtag is #WhoProfits. So look for one of us, and we'll be out and asking questions. So we'd love to have your help. Thank you.
Another hashtag would be #GUI for Governing Under the Influence. Got a camera here. Got a couple others shooting pictures. I don't know who the next speaker will be.
I'd like to introduce a real environmentalist as well as senator here at our Capitol, Senator Rob Hogue.
I am Rob Hogue, State Senator from Cedar Rapids. Thank you. I am Rob Hogue. I'm a State Senator from Cedar Rapids. I want to thank you all for being out here to speak up today. I will tell you on the Bakken oil pipeline, this is something that, if you understand climate change at all, makes no sense. We already have too many greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. They're already having a devastating impact around the country, across the country and around the world. And to invest more money for more fossil fuels just generally doesn't make sense. This pipeline is an unprecedented pipeline in Iowa's history. We only have 2 existing crude oil pipelines in our state.
And
one
that's
of
too
which
many.
is defunct because it is corroded and no longer operates. The other is 16 miles long in southeast Iowa, a corner of the state. So it would be unprecedented to have a 300-plus mile pipeline across our state. And those 2 pipelines that already exist, neither one of them is remotely close to the capacity that's being proposed with the Bakken pipeline. The Bakken pipeline could move 570,000 barrels of oil a day. That's a lot of oil.
Yeah.
And what I want you to think about and carries with it all the risks, obviously, to the landowners and the people who would have their property taken so the pipeline could be built, all the risk to Iowa's land and our water. It hasn't been too long ago that the pipeline spilled in the Kalamazoo River, causing over $1 billion in damage, or the Mayflower, Arkansas spill, or the Yellowstone River spill. And just 2 weeks ago, I learned about a farmer in North Dakota who's suffering from an oil spill that on his property alone is requiring a cleanup that has already cost $15 million on a single farm. It's not a matter of if oil spills are going to happen. They do happen, and they're devastating when they happen.
When and how big?
I'm going to share just a little bit about what the climate impacts of this single pipeline would be. Because sometimes you hear a number like 570,000 barrels of oil, and it just kind of rolls off you because it sounds big. Well, 570,000 barrels a day, every day, 365 days a year, if that were to happen, that has the same greenhouse gas impact as 16 major coal-burning power plants. And you remember what Iowans did the last time a major coal-burning power plant was proposed for our state? Iowa stepped up and we said no. We said no to LS Power in Waterloo, and the coal plant in Marshalltown also went away to be replaced by something that was cleaner and less devastating to our environment.
And of course we said no to a new nuke plant.
To stand up for the public interest on this. Now, I want to tell you, there is a legislative proposal that would address this pipeline. In the Senate, it's Senate Study Bill 1276. And we are working very hard to come up with something that will pass the legislature and will add protections for the public interest in this state and add protections for the landowners in this state. It is a legislative tightrope we are trying to walk, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to walk that tightrope. But what I want you to understand is, regardless of what we are able to do in the Capitol, the people of Iowa are still going to have to educate ourselves, educate the public, and make a difference with how decision makers consider these issues. And we need to send a really clear, concise, direct message that allowing a pipeline that's going to move the carbon equivalent of 16 major coal-burning power plants is not in the interests of the people of Iowa. It is not in our public interest, and we
Definitely
should say no
not.
to that. Whether it's the legislature or the Iowa Utilities Board or the courts should say no to that. Now, finally, I want to say one other thing that's just really, really important. Not only are we here today to say no to the Bakken oil pipeline, I hope everybody here is also here today to say yes. To say yes to a safer, a more secure, a healthier, a more prosperous, and a more sustainable future. The solutions to these problems, if you take out all the problems that we have out there, when you look at the solutions, solar energy, wind power, walkable and bikeable cities, fuel-efficient cars, or the next generation of electric vehicles. When you look at the solutions, they all work. They work. And they work not only for the environment, they work for businesses, they work for consumers, they work for jobs, they work for our health, they work for the communities that we want to live in. So thank you for standing up and saying no to the Bakken oil pipeline and helping deliver that message that is not in the public interest of Iowans. But keep up the momentum, keep learning more, getting more involved, more organized, doing more, speaking up more, because we can build a better future working together, a future that will be safe, healthy, prosperous, and sustainable for every Iowan. So thank you for being here. Keep up the great work that you're doing. And I'm looking at Carolyn to find out who I turn the microphone over to now. Carolyn.
Is Chuck Eisenhardt or Dan Kelly, would you like to say a few words about what's going on? This is our representative from Dubuque. This is Chuck Eisenhardt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here on this glorious Earth Day. Ranking Member Environmental Protection in the Iowa House, and I am a big fan of Ed Fallon. Here's why. He puts his shoes where his mouth is.
I just took a picture.
I admire anybody who's willing to not just sit there Monday morning quarterback.
Ed Fallon is a former legislator and internet broadcaster and environmental activist.
These issues historically have not been partisan issues. And I think we know that we need to mobilize people based on their values and not their party identity. And we all know that Ed Fallon represents the values that can bring people together. We just left the floor of the Iowa House for the past 90 minutes. I and 10 of my colleagues have spoken as points of personal privilege about Earth Day, led off by our Minority Leader Smith, who talked about the history of Earth Day, finished up by Representative Liz Bennett, who spoke from the book that Rob Hogue did on the topic of climate change. And it was a very powerful series of presentations that we're going to put together and make available to you on DVD so you can share with your folks around the state and the community. Because it shows that there are people there willing to stand up and speak on these issues, even if there is not a live bill or an appropriation in front of us necessarily where we can move our causes forward. And I think Senator Hogue maybe talked to you about a couple pieces they're trying to move forward. I'd like to just mention a couple, maybe three things that are very tangible. One of the things that I learned from Ed on his trip were the reports of various people who seem to be strong-armed by the lawyers for the company that want to build this pipeline. And if you don't take our offer, you're not going to get anything better once we have powers of eminent domain and can come and take your land or strip an easement from you by force. I think that's a bad faith negotiating tactic.
That's not negotiating at all.
You don't have the power of condemnation and eminent domain. So we're talking with Representative Kaufman. I think maybe he's had some conversations with Senator Hogue about putting a provision in the bill that basically says you cannot use these bad faith negotiating tactics while an application is pending before the IUB.
IUB is Iowa Utilities Board.
Of the IUB and the consumer advocate, that we maybe use that as evidence of why we shouldn't grant you your permit. And at least make you go back and start over and treat people humanely in the process. Don't know the future of that, but it's something tangible that we're going to try to work on. I'm from Dubuque, as I said. We don't have a proposed pipeline going through our community. In my research, we've noted, Representative Kelly and I, that there are in fact only 2 crude oil pipelines in Iowa. One goes straight down the middle and it's owned by the Koch brothers. They abandoned that pipeline, I think, 3 years ago because they found it was too dangerous to transport the product through because it corroded the pipeline and made it more subject to spills and disasters. Right now, there's only one short line, about 20 miles, cutting from Illinois to Missouri across Keokuk and Lee County. So this notion that crude oil pipelines have traversed the states for decades without cause of concern is just not true. We have not had those history of crude oil pipelines through the state. And it's for that reason that I, along with 14 of my colleagues in the House, on a bipartisan basis, sent a letter about 6 weeks ago to the Utilities Board saying that we expect you to require, at the company's expense, for them to do an environmental impact assessment to determine what the dangers and risks are of this pipeline, so at the very least we can mitigate against those if in fact a permit is required, and force you to make it as safe as possible for our communities and our land. To date, we have not gotten a response to that letter, and maybe some of you can start making some phone calls. If I brought the phone number with me, you could do it on your cell phone now. Not only asking the IUB to do this, but to get back to us, telling us why they won't be defenders of Iowa's environmental interests if in fact they aren't going to require this assessment. The Utilities Board, in my opinion, is one of the 2 most powerful in this state, next to the Board of Regents, which regulates our Regents institutions and the 3 universities. Yet the transparency by which this board operates is very minimal at best, and Iowans deserve to know what goes into how they make their decisions. Some of the reports we've been hearing lately haven't been too promising in that respect. The last thing I just mentioned, we've had experience with these disasters in my neck of the woods over the last 6 weeks. You may have read about them. Big ethanol train derailment right up the river on the Iowa side, and a crude oil explosion on the Illinois side right across from Bellevue, which resulted in a fireball that lasted for several hours. Both were in very remote places, very difficult to get to. took many days and frankly millions of dollars to clean up. Thank God it didn't happen 3 weeks later when we had a flood to deal with, would have brought that stuff into the river.
Ew.
But it got the folks in Bellevue wondering, what about these crude oil trains going straight down the middle of our main street on the Canadian Pacific? And what if that had happened in our town? So it's starting to bring attention, folks, to this problem. As part of that, people use that as an opportunity to argue that, well, pipelines are safer than trains, so why don't we build pipelines?
Bull crap.
My response is, it's not an either-or situation. It's not about the mode of transportation. It's about the safety of the product itself, and can it be transported safely via any mode? And we simply do not know the answer to those questions, and I'm inclined to say, if we don't find out the answers are good, that we shouldn't build a pipeline or transport it by rail. So we need to assess the risk associated with these independently and not make it an either-or thing. So am I against the pipeline? No. I think it's the product that we need to focus on. And even the folks up in North Dakota are starting to question that, because they recently, this week, adopted new legislation to put more stringent regulations in place in that regard. And I just wrap up with this observation. It's whether it comes to our clean air, carbon emissions, climate change, clean water, what we see is a lot of lip service in our state and in our country. I think a lot of people claim that they're involved in helping us solve these problems. And for a minority of those folks, it's true and it's genuine. But it's not enough. We need to do more. We need to do better. We need to do faster. We need more people like Ed Fallon, who are not just involved, but they're committed. And I think the best way for us to understand the difference between involvement and commitment in this old Iowa image, it's the difference between bacon and eggs. With eggs, the chicken was involved. With bacon, the pig was committed. Right? So, now am I asking everyone to put their life on the line for any of these causes? No. But guess what? It takes a little sacrifice and a little pain, and I think folks here are willing to step up to the plate, and we need to show Iowans how it can be done, to show that we can get from here to there without necessarily having to walk from one corner of the state to the other. So I appreciate your attention. Again, once again, congratulations, and thank you, Ed, for all your work.
We are lucky. We have another legislator in the House, and it is Representative Dan Kelly from Newton, also an environmentalist.
Thank you very much. Hey, it's a great honor to be kind of sandwiched between true heroes for the environment, Representative Chuck Eisenhart, and the guy that I'm going to introduce here today. First, I want to say Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Today is the day that we stand for the environment. Today is the day we celebrate the progress we've made. Clean air, clean water, and fertile soil, healthy land is something that is worth fighting for. I want to thank each and every one of you for standing up and taking on that fight. Folks, this Bakken pipeline is not a done deal. We're making loud noise, and they're hearing us. Let's keep making it. We can beat this project. We can stop it.
Yeah, the crowd here is probably over 100 now.
So we're proving that we can play defense, we can stop a project when we need to, and we can go on offense too. And we're doing great things with renewable energy, with wind energy in my district back home. We've put people back to work on the factory floor building wind parts, wind blades, and wind towers for turbine projects. And we also have a biodiesel plant. We are putting people back to work through good practice and good work for the environment and renewable energy. That's playing offense, and we got to do that too to win this game. And so without further ado, I want to introduce to you a true champion for the environment, a true man of the people. He just got back from a over 400 mile walk along the path of the Bakken pipeline. Not only is he a former state legislator, he's a great talk show host. Folks, let's have a
The
great
Fallon
big
Forum
round of applause
is
and
his
welcome for Ed
show
Fallon.
on the internet.
Thank you, Dan. Dan's been filling in for me on my talk show, and he's not a bad talk show host either. I really want to thank Sherry. Sherry is my right hand, and often an unsung hero in all the work that goes on to make these projects successful. I want to thank David Goodner for helping to kick this idea off wherever David might be. And I really want to thank everybody for coming. This is very heartening to me to come back after a difficult journey and to see such a wonderful showing of people here. And from all over. There are people from, let me just yell out where you're from. Polk? Polk. Story. Where else? Boone.
They're saying the count is that they live in
Warren. Where else?
Someone said Cedar.
Cedar. Johnson. Cherokee. Calhoun. Webster. Lucas. Johnson. We already said that. Where else? Did we miss anyone?
Someone said
Blackhawk. Payne.
Someone said Dallas.
State of Oregon over there.
Oregon. My gosh. Okay.
Yes, someone came all the way from Oregon.
We could cover that map right there practically. It means a lot to me that people were willing to come here to celebrate Earth Day and also to help put the closure on this experience that I have been engaged with for the past 7.5 weeks now. I originally thought it would be shorter. I was looking at a 4-week ordeal. And when I started crunching numbers and realized if I'm going to actually have time to talk with people, to meet with landowners, to go at a pace that I can manage, and I was going to have to slow down. And so Sherry was really good to step up to the plate and pick up all those pieces that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't if she wasn't doing that. So again, thank you again. There's a lot I could say about this, and it would take way too long. It was really, really difficult. You think about, okay, I walked 3,000 miles last year. This was only 400, not a big deal. For some reason, it was still a big deal. It still was very, very challenging. I think the weather had a lot to do with it. One morning in Lee County, I woke up and the wind chill was 17 below. Every day in Buena Vista and partly in Cherokee County, it rained. I think it rained that was partly Calhoun too. It rained 4 days in a row. The wind is a challenge, and then just the fact that I had speaking engagements in Cedar County and Johnson County, and just coming back and forth like that. It was a difficult experience, but I tell you, every bit of it was worth it. I would do it again. I came into this though thinking, okay, this walk across the state will be my contribution to the pipeline, the effort to stop the pipeline. But as I kept going, and the more people I met, the more experiences I had. I am in this for the long run, for the long haul. I have to be. The people I met, they're counting on us. They're counting on us. I know there are people here who are landowners, who are in the pathway of this pipeline. And yesterday I had the real honor to have Jane Klebb from Bold, Nebraska join me. She spent the entire day with me. We met a lot of the landowners. We talked with a lot of people.
Bold, Nebraska.
And I realized from talking with her
very
too.
involved
I guess
in
talking with
trying
her
to stop the
confirmed to me
Keystone Pipeline.
that the landowners really are the focal point of this movement. I mean, we have to all be engaged. Those of us more broadly concerned about eminent domain. Those of us concerned about climate change, about the environment. From whatever angle we come at this from, we have to be engaged. But these folks are in the crosshairs. They're getting hammered day after day by pipeline company officials. One guy I met, he'd been called 6 times in one day. I get messages regularly from a woman in Story County who is just distraught because they're knocking at her door with briefcases, because they're out surveying her land. And what I found out was that people often had never had any conversation with anyone about this from our side of it. It's always been the pipeline representative hammering away at them time after time, telling them things that in some cases aren't true, like we have to get it off trains. Okay, this is not going to reduce the amount of oil traveling on trains. We know that. Also telling them things that weren't true regarding compensation, regarding how much they could potentially get. Also things that weren't true regarding what would happen in condemnation. So, you know, what I found out was that the majority of people are against this pipeline. Even some people who have signed and settled with the company are against this pipeline. You know, and right now, I'm really, really glad to be home. I'm looking forward to, I won't call it downtime. I'm going to rest a little bit, a day or two maybe, but I'm back in this fight because we've got to win this for so many reasons. And again, you know, I come at it from a number of angles. I'm very concerned about water quality. I'm very concerned about climate change. I've always been concerned about eminent domain being abused. But now there's a face to that. There are lots of faces. Lots of people who don't want this, who are counting on our support. And so I think the first thing I want to encourage people to do is we've got a great group of state lawmakers who are fighting for us to pass a strong eminent domain bill that if it passes, we can go on to something else. If that bill passes in the form that it currently exists,
and if
then
the governor signs
I think we don't have to worry about this. Because the big question is this pipeline a public purpose?
Nope.
I don't think so. And I don't think when we wrote
because we're not going to use it.
2006, the very last vote I took actually was on eminent domain. And it was a bill that made sure that government could not take private property and give it to another private developer. I don't see how this is anything but that. But apparently there is some disagreement among state officials, so hopefully what this bill will do will clarify that, and then we can put this behind us. But there's no assurance that's going to happen. And so our friends at the State House, Republican and Democrat, need to have our support. We all need to be encouraging our lawmakers and any other lawmaker we have a connection with to support that legislation. And we've got what, 3 or 4 weeks? When are you guys going to be done? Mid-May? June?
Yeah, they haven't
even,
they haven't even passed the school budget bill yet.
Well, yeah, there's still the school budget bill. And so they could be there a while, but you don't know. So I'd say, you know, tomorrow, please call your state senator, call your state representative, tell them to support the eminent domain legislation. I do know the Senate file, or not the Senate file, the Senate study bill. It's SSB, Senate Study Bill 1276, I believe. I think it's 1276. Again, this stuff is coming late. That's okay. It's going through the Oversight Committee. It's funnel-proof. We need to show that there's a groundswell of interest in having that bill passed. And I say those bills because there's one in the House and one in the Senate. So to me, that's the most important thing we can do right now. But the announcement I want to make, I've been saying that I would have an announcement to make today. Somebody asked me, what are you going to run for, Ed? Well, I'm done running, now I'm walking. No. My announcement, and maybe you could have guessed this based on what I've been saying, is I'm going to put all of my effort, again, right now the focus is getting this eminent domain bill passed, but beyond that, my effort is going to go toward helping these landowners, to helping them build an organization, to helping them connect with each other. You know, here's an example. There's a fantastic attorney in Buena Vista County who's working hard with landowners there. And he asked me, he says, well, if you find anybody in Sioux or Lyon County that's against this, let me know. I don't know of anyone. And I didn't know of anyone either. Well, when I got to Sioux Center, I discovered, I met 3 landowners in Lyon County who were against this. Well, yesterday, I met 20 of them. There's a big crowd up there who are against this. We need to connect those landowners with each other. We need to connect. Here's Keith. Keith is from Boone County. He's a landowner, and he's done amazing research. I met a woman yesterday named Corinne. She had a whole packet of stuff she put together, information that people should be sharing. I want to help facilitate that, again, with the idea that keeping the landowners in the center of this organizational effort. They got to be the ones who need to move this forward, and I think they want to do that. They need the tools. Again, they're not lifelong organizers. They're folks who farm mostly, or do other jobs. This has been thrown at them. They didn't step forward and say, hey, I want to be a part of this movement. It found them. And now we have to support them in a way that makes their time and effort most valuable, that we can build as big a movement as possible. Again, and I looked at Nebraska. Nebraska is very instructive because They have effectively stopped the Keystone Pipeline in Nebraska. I mean, it's not actually dead yet, but it's on life support. That Keystone Pipeline is almost certainly not going to happen. Now, when Bold, Nebraska got involved in that struggle, TransCanada had already been signing up landowners for 2 years. They had 50% of the landowners signed up. Today, there are 90% signed up, but there are 10% that are so organized, passionate, and strong against that they've been able to stop that thing from happening. Now, I think we're going to have more than 10% in Iowa. And right now, the best guess is maybe 25%.
They released a video of,
and some of them, again,
also of.
I think we can do this. I think the fact that we've got a neighbor to the west that has done it is a great example.
Presenting frac sand water to oil company executives, inviting them to drink it.
So, again, that's my commitment
which they did
to
not.
continue to work on this. I think everybody here is has concerns about this, and I ask you to do whatever you can. And again, immediately, if you can do, if there's nothing else you can have time to do, contact your legislators about that eminent domain legislation. That is key right now. But again, if you we have, by the way, we're still trying to sell some T-shirts from last year's walk. If you want to drop $20 for a beautiful T-shirt, Sherry would be happy, and so would I. But we also have some information that you can take. I have a copy of the landowner letter that I've been distributing as I go farm to farm. I roll them up. If they're not home, I'll leave them in the door latch, or I'll roll them up and put them under the on the flag by the mailbox. There's some of those letters there if you want to take a copy of that. And is there anybody here who does not get my blog? Wow. Okay, good. Well, please encourage other people to, I'm not going to do every day, okay? But I will be sending out once a week. And again, I'm going to try to circulate the most timely, relevant, and important information. So if you know other people who ought to get that, send them my way. I will never spam people. I will never sell email addresses. It will always be just the one contact from me about that. Again, thank you so... Excuse me. Thank you so much for coming. And again, I want to thank all the people, not just the landowners who have stepped forward, but the organizations like the Bakken Resistance Coalition, the No Bakken folks down in Fairfield. That's why we have some Jefferson people here too. And again, I want to thank the attorneys who have been putting in time and effort on this, and the legislators. There's a whole lot of people who are with this effort. And like Dan Kelly said, I think we have a really good chance of defeating this. And if we do, it's going to mean so much more impetus for furthering our investments in renewable energy. Thank you.
Do you see what that phone number is on that? I can't see that.
No, no.
You can't see it either?
No.
I guess I have to walk over there.
Yeah.
I'm good with dogs.
People are just kind of are approaching Ed and getting info from him.
Hey, a quick announcement. I'm glad Keith reminded me. 7 o'clock tonight in Ames, Catherine Hayhoe is speaking.
Go to iostate.edu and do it. They can tune in live on the computer.
Yeah, you can also watch it simulcast at isu.edu. Yes, but Catherine Hayhoe is a great speaker on the climate issues. She's in Ames tonight at 7. Thank you for reminding me.
In Iowa State, iowastate.edu. If you go to that page, you'll be able to find a link to that live stream.
That's not gas, I think. Yeah, Dan Kelly looked into that.
Next year,
Dan looked into that. What size is it?
It's huge.
It's 30 inches.
Sure. All right. image on there, that'd be great. Hello.
Hello. Hello there, good looking.
Vegas, yes.
Hello there, good looking.
Hi.
Hi, are you a Des Moines organizer for the
I am.
Ride?
Yeah.
I was working with Susanna out in like northwest Iowa.
Right on. My name is Matt.
Hi, Matt. And then
Yep, the dog even against the back and pipeline. I'm just gonna walk around.
If he goes back on a radio station that anybody listens to.
Yeah, no. I used to run into you every now and then and have it for a while.
Well, have a good one. Enjoy.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hi there, lady.
Hello. Just taking a couple of pictures with the Capitol in the background. Just giving my viewers a look at your signs. And live streaming it. Anyone in the world can see this. Yep. You know, when one of them said, you know, that the whole world is waking up, you know, people in other countries can see what I'm bringing to them.
No, we're already home. We're already asleep. Maybe that was it.
Hopefully the eminent domain bill that is currently going through the process will get passed, and of course passing it by both sides, the House and the Senate, is one thing, but then the governor will have to sign it, and if he doesn't sign it, then we're back to square one.
Yep, no problem, guys.
And you make a podcast on that too, is that right?
No, I don't have the software for podcasting. This is live stream. I use an app called Ustream, Ustream.
Oh, okay. I might try to do something like.
And so then people they know where my Ustream channel is, and when I go live, I got it set up where it sends a tweet and it posts on Facebook. And I set a tweet in advance that I would be going live, so that alerts people. And then there are restream channels that pick up individual stream feeds like mine and rebroadcast them to widen my audience. So that's how that works. So when someone hears someone saying, like in a protest video, the whole world is watching, literally. And in one protest I was involved in, I was not streaming, but someone else was. Someone watched us in the UAE.
I don't like slang.
Yeah, United Arab Emirates. There was a guy watching us here in Des Moines, which is totally awesome.
Ed asked me to count at one point, and so if I don't tell him, I counted 115. Yeah.
Did you count the dog?
Count the dog? Yeah, dog count twice. Yeah. It's a big dog.
Yeah, but a good-looking dog. Yeah, someone did an actual head count and said there's 115. But then I teased him. I said, "Did you count the dog?" And he said, "The dog counts twice." Actually, they're over there. Someone just asked for one of the water bottles that I brought. They're currently being used as weights to keep things from flying away. But I said, if someone needs a drink, grab it. I brought them to share. I'm going to take a drink from my bottle now. Good thing I'm wearing a jacket that has a pocket I can put my bottle in. I'm just walking around this side of the crowd.
I like to.
Yeah.
Mine is KSLUT.
Yep, it said 115. Someone just did an actual head count. Of course, if you count the dog, that'd be 116. Hello, haven't I seen you somewhere before? Yeah. Yeah, trying to hold those. Yeah, the wind will try to take it.
Where do you see yourself? Well, I was going to get a picture. They were holding something up, but
Yeah, oh well.
I think I got to get back to my car. I've had all the sun I can handle.
Yep. Ever thought about maybe getting the half niqab to cover your face?
I don't know. I'm too close to right.
Oh, well, it was an idea. It was an idea.
Hardly handle it.
Yeah.
I just not Texas.
Oh, well, it was an idea.
I know. No, I use my scarf sometimes when I
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
That's a little contemplate within all the darkness.
Yeah, look at that good looking pup. Oh yeah.
You got some? Mom's supposed to say hi.
Hey, dogs got to have a clean environment too.
Make sure you guys get one of these. But we're gonna go through Ed and put stuff out through Ed about your meeting. We're gonna go through CCI and their contact list, and they're actually gonna publish it in the paper. So we're hoping.
There was something in the register this morning. It was actually about this event.
Okay.
Really? Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea, is if we can pattern this and then take it into all the different counties to start organizing everybody. And that's the intent.
Basically, for 3 years we worked at the State House. Find your lunches and talk to the legislators and educate them about whether you're talking about environment or
Yeah, the one photographer who just greeted me and I was teasing her saying, "Where have I seen you somewhere before?" She is an independent freelance photographer, and that's all she does. She shoots pictures, and she goes to protests and rallies and other events like I do to document them. But she has a disease called lupus, which forces her to restrict her sun exposure, and she has to almost cover herself from head to toe. That's why I was mentioning, suggesting the niqab like I wear to cover the face, but she said she's too claustrophobic for that. But she does use she'll wrap a scarf around her face when she drives sometimes. But
I talked to him about coming here.
She wears gloves to cover her hands because she even has to cover her hands. That's how bad the lupus can be. And but she's not going to give up her photography. And she's not going to give up doing what else she can for the 99%.
What do you do?
I mean, it's close.
Okay, great. Okay. You're at. Thank you, sir. Are you able to do any volunteer work?
That dog is checking you out.
I know that. I noticed that.
Yes. Oh, are you after my water? Is that what you want? You want water? There's water bottles over there, but I don't have a way to give it to her unless she drinks out of the bottle.
Right.
Well, not.
I adopted her. She had that name, so I didn't change it. Stay.
It's like I want to go play
Stay.
We don't know.
Stay.
Yeah, sure. Good looking girl.
Alright, I gotta get a picture of you guys.
Yes. Do you want me to hold the bottle while you do that?
That's okay, I got it. I gotta try to get your birthday thing in there.
So it's been really fruitful.
You and your mom go to Spaghetti Works and just
Going to Spaghetti Works.
It's all good. It's so good.
Spaghetti Works is good. Yeah, their food is good.
What was that?
I said Spaghetti Works, their food is good.
Yes, we've just got the vegan, and we've got the vegetarian,
Yeah.
we've got the gluten-free, we've got so much stuff.
Yeah.
So, all falls okay.
It's on the lighter side, but Ritual Cafe, they serve vegan
Oh, yeah.
and vegetarian.
Yeah. It's good. No, we're going to Thai flavors. We're set. We changed it already.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, yep.
Never been there, but I like Thai food.
Yeah.
I just can't afford to go a lot of these places, so.
Yeah, I know. Can't cover the whole. Yeah, we just came from West.
There you go. Yeah.
How can you be so stupid to legalize gun sales?
No, it's crazy.
Hey.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm
Hi, Emma.
in Stone Tree.
Hey, good to meet you.
I was wondering if I could grab sound bite from you about why.
Well, I'm actually headed to Kansas City tonight, and I was going to grab dinner at the
Blue. Yeah, there's. Someone mentioned Thai flavors over there. I don't know. I've never been in there.
We do stories every week about what's going on in Iowa, and
But if you want Asian fawns on University in between East 9th and East 12th, that's good.
Okay.
Fawns, it's on East University in between East 9th and East 12th, next to the laundromat.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Someone wanted Asian food, and so I made a recommendation because I've been there. So I'm going to record this interview too.
It's great to see such a large crowd of concerned citizens here at the Capitol today to voice their opposition to the Bakken pipeline. stopping. And I think that speaks very highly of the state of Iowa. So many people that are willing to stand up for the environment, and stand up for human rights, and take the action that's necessary to move our country, move our state, and frankly move our families house to house away from this addiction to fossil fuels. The opportunities are out there for renewable fuels. Sometimes we got to play defense and stop a project. It's also important to play offense. And seek the technologies of the future that will move our world and our environment forward.
Exactly. And talk a little bit about
yes.
That's a pretty cop-out answer. Motivate people across party lines to work towards stopping the pipeline if environmental concerns don't matter in the same way.
That's a very important point to make as well. Many environmental efforts are often looked at from a partisan viewpoint. This pipeline is something that provides subject of concern for members of both parties. Democrats and Republicans, many of us want to protect individual property rights for our citizens who represent in both urban and rural communities. And this pipeline project is become a symbol of the
same condition
issues we have in the state of Iowa. We need to sort through our laws, sort through the code to make sure that what's in the books best represents the best interests of Iowans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Me too. Yeah, if you have a chance, send that to me.
I definitely will.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. That flower plus him being a flower as a flower.
Say hi to Representative Kelly.
That's 3 flowers.
As long as you're not a squirrel.
Is that Warren?
Yeah, right.
Warren, right?
Yeah.
You tried to. It's not true friendship. No, it is not.
Basically, but then if you have 2, then I'm on his
For all we
side.
know, you're bankrolling. So, the question is, are we willing to let somebody take our country away? I'm not. I'm going to fight. Democracy. If you're not, you're going to fight. We got to keep organized. That's all we can do.
Looks like more people are leaving while others are still having conversations.
It is okay. The Supreme Court said it's okay. We have to change that. We have to change
Right, yeah. I have a problem with office like my station, and I want to
and tell Hillary to get that Constitution.
Hi,
Carolyn.
Carolyn. I have friends. Excuse me.
Hi, Kayla.
Friends with these.
Sharon. Yeah. I want to introduce you to Representative Kelly.
Yeah, hi. How are you doing, Sharon?
I'm part of that also.
Nice.
I've never met you before.
Yeah, I'm Kaylin Strain.
Okay, Caitlin, good to meet you.
Kaylin is very useful because she's videotaping.
She's a good photographer.
And Sharon is promoting that petition I was talking about.
Okay, I'll sign it for you.
So it's an electronic petition. So
Sure.
email to your.
Yeah, just send me an email.
Can you send that petition to the representative's email?
Yeah, I'll
Okay, great.
be happy to sign it, and if you want to do a press release or anything on that, I'd be happy to get it put together for you.
Thank you very much.
Sure. And move on standing behind her efforts to ask to basically hand deliver these in the State House.
To the governor himself.
Good. Good deal.
Yeah, so to have a press release or to have a press event around that would be
Okay,
awesome.
well, I'd be happy to participate if you'd like me to.
Thank you so much.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got it.
So I don't have a card. Do you know how to get hold of me?
Matt knows now.
Okay, Matt, that's
I have your contact.
okay. Yeah, you have that. And electkelly.com is my
I saw that,
website,
yeah.
and you can find me through that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. We'll certainly communicate that way. That'd be great. Thank you.
good deal.
Great. Thanks, sir.
Yeah,
And
good to see you.
has senator. That's essentially it's this.
The petition that is being referred to is one that several groups are circulating to get the state government to enforce the Clean Water Act, the EPA, not water it down as a Iowa Environmental Commission and the State Department of Natural Resources has done, watering down the clean water rules so much that it's basically not effective, and it's not what the EPA actually wants the state to do. I'm sorry?
Give me more water.
They're over there on the table.
Okay, thanks.
Just telling someone else grab a water where they're at.
I have been on email very much with being in Chicago for 6 days, so I shouldn't say I did, but I'll have to check. Is Matt, you've got a run?
He probably went home.
No, he didn't. Can we say hi to Edward?
Oh, yeah. I see you.
Carolyn, good to talk. Park kangaroo, park gazelle, reflecting postcard today, reflecting 2016 of these by the end of the week. Good. There you go.
Hello. I'm still broadcasting.
I know. By the way, is stuff that you have up there still up there?
On Ustream, because I have the free account, not a pay one, my videos stay up there for a month.
We have not the Lakota Youth is probably not there anymore.
Actually, I put that one up on YouTube.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How would I find it on YouTube?
Let's see. On YouTube, the channel that is just my name, Kaylin Strain. Look for that.
What's the last name? Strain.
Strain. S-T-R-A-I-N. S-T-R-A-I-N. S-T-R-A-I-N.
Strain.
Yeah.
Strain. Okay.
Yeah.
Take yourself for a walk. Thanks for all the work. I don't think they're all together.
I called it something like Lakota Youth Land Defenders or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe the staff. Right. You've been shamelessly promoting your events.
I did another one that same day, just on the other part of that building.
No, they don't.
It looks like a young dog.
Yeah.
How young?
How you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
How young?
So she thinks she's 2, but she's really 4.
Oh.
In other words, she's got the energy of a pup.
It's a no. It's a no. It's a no. No. It's no.
Yeah, I like that.
Stay and be good, okay? Stay. Stay and be good. Stay. Thanks. Okay, I got her calling. I think.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Come here.
She needs to learn how to sit.
She doesn't want to sit, but she's not going to sit on this.
She does want to sit on this surface, probably.
What have you been up to? Frank's in town.
Yeah, I thought he wouldn't be back till.
I did too. But I got an email from him, and yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. Well, I've been posting. The links that he puts in the email. I've been putting those on Facebook, and I tweeted them.
Oh, good. Well, I went and met with him yesterday.
Oh, cool.
And but here's what we decided. He said he's leaving on the 30th of April to go to Korea for 2 months with Jessica.
and some anti-nuclear.
Oh, wow.
On an island off the mainland of Korea. He's going to be there until July 1st. On middle of June, they announce a World Food Prize winner. So he said, let's not do anything until I get back on July 1st, because then we'll know who the winner is, and then we can move from there.
Yeah.
And then he's also been in contact with Mike Miles. That's a guy from Wisconsin that plays a guitar, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he thinks we should have someone, a prominent person in agriculture, be our main speaker. And I think, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So if you think of anybody who's prominent in agriculture, well, write the name down, and then in July, when we start having our meetings, we're going to try to work from there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know too many other than the ones that we've worked with before. But
I thought of Michael Pollan, who writes books about agriculture.
Yeah.
And, maybe some authors who've written books about agriculture. That kind of thing.
Make sure we said hi.
I don't know, but anyway, we just talked for like 45 minutes, and then I left.
Yeah. Or Winona Router, the one who wrote the Foodopoly.
That would be a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I live streamed her when she first published that book and the book signing. Yeah, I streamed that.
That's a very good idea. I don't know who else. Sort of given up on Shiva. We're not going to try very much.
Yeah,
she was in just an AMC, so
and of course,
who wanted to see her, I suppose, went and saw
her. Anyway. Fortunately, I couldn't get a ride to Ames at one time. Yeah, I was hoping to go there, but oh well.
I went, but I rode with other people.
Yeah. Oh well.
Thanks, guys. Anyway,
that's the way it goes. I'm probably going to take my stream down and get out of here. Yeah, everybody's starting to trickle out. I guess we decided not to do public speak out anyway. I'm going to collect my water bottles. Well, I guess there's just one left. Do you need a drink? You can have it. The last one anyway. Well, I gave away the last water bottle I brought.
I think that's irrelevant. That's what I thought that meant. Yeah. How can that be irrelevant when you are a director and you receive thousands of dollars, maybe even like hundreds of thousands of dollars just to sit on a board of directors meeting, a few times a year. So he's trying to profit. It's a complicated deal. And this happens far too often.
Yep, I want to pop off one last picture. But I'm going to go ahead and take my stream down. But before I do that, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank any channels that may have restreamed my broadcast today, whether it be Activist World News Now or Global Occupy News Network or any of the other ones that pick up individual streams and rebroadcast them. They do good work. They are essential for helping us streamers get our stuff out to a wider audience. So thanks to them. And I would also like to invite you to check out my donation links below my video view window. If you're watching directly on your stream, the links are down below. So I do this on my own dime. I don't get any financial support from any organization whatsoever, profit, non-profit, or otherwise. I work solely for my viewers. And I'm the only one currently working in Des Moines, bringing you these events live and unedited, unspun, except when I'm doing this. That's the only spinning I'll do. But if you're watching on another site, such as one of the restream channels on livestream.com, or if you are unable to see what's below the video view window, then you can go to www.gofundme.com/OccupierKaylin. That's KAYLYNN. Again, www.gofundme.com/OccupierKaylin. Or if you're not able to access GoFundMe or you don't have any of the currencies that it supports, you can go through PayPal. at www.paypal.com, and in the send money to line, enter the email address strainSOP@AOL.com. Again, www.paypal.com, and in the send money to line, enter the email address strainSOP@AOL.com. That will help me cover the cost of my live streaming and broadcasting. And I've recently added some new things. I bought a new monopod to replace the one that I lost. I bought a new power pack, so I now have two. I have 2 spare batteries in addition to the one that's in my phone now, so I got plenty of juice. And I've added some cords, but I need to get a new cord for my tablet because that one crapped out.
Well, here's another one.
And I'm using one of the new cords for my phone when I charge it, but it works, but I'd still rather have a new one specifically for my tablet. And I eat a big data plan because I can't get Wi-Fi out here. So, again, if you can kick me a little, just a few dollars, I'm not asking anyone to pay my whole internet bill. Just a little bit. Plus, I'm also in need of a new computer because my current one is 8 years old and I can't do any home broadcasting more than a few minutes. I can stay up for a few minutes before I freeze or get knocked offline. So I'll be hoping somehow to get a new computer. But if you can send a little my way through GoFundMe or PayPal, please do that. But if you cannot, spread it around. Tell other people that I could use a little support since I live on a fixed income. And my next event that's coming up will be May 2nd, and I'll be right back here. I'm not sure if it's in this spot or another spot of the Capitol grounds, but it is a rally for legalization of not only medical marijuana to make it more accessible, but what Colorado and Washington did. They have a law where you can own a little bit, you can smoke it, and probably not in public. I'm not sure. I don't know how it works for smoking it in public, but you can smoke it in your own home. You can possess some. You can grow a few plants, and of course the medical marijuana. That bill here failed. What I call the completion of the medical marijuana bill here, it failed. It died because there are not enough people that wanted to complete it. And completing it means not only making it legal for patients to use it as a medicine, but to actually acquire it within the state. Because as it stands now, people cannot acquire the cannabis oil, which is only allowed for seizure disorders that can no longer be treated by the standard pharmaceutical drugs. And right now, if you want to get it, you have to take the great risk of arrest and going out of state to get it, even with the license card. And right now, only one has been issued. But the owner of that license card cannot get the cannabis oil within the state. And so there was a proposal to not only make it legal to grow the plants and process them into a form that patients can use, but to actually expand the law for diseases covered, where it could be used by cancer patients and by AIDS patients, multiple sclerosis patients, and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a couple other diseases that some of the constituents in the marijuana are effective at. That bill failed, and so the rally on May 2nd will probably draw more people out than before because of the fact that the bill to complete the medical marijuana law failed. So that will be May 2nd at noon here. I believe I'll double check the time of that, but when it gets closer, I'll definitely put out the time. So that will be my next stream here. I don't know of anything else coming up unless something else comes up in between now and then. But I'm going to go ahead and give you one last look at the Capitol. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the stream.